Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Hey everybody, this is the digital asset investor, and wait till you hear this. I'm drawing a blank on his name, Stephen M. McClure, I believe, from Canary. He's on with Paul Barron. Isn't this always how it was going to end? When you look at institutional capital right now, the amount, because I'm looking here at all the ETFs you have right here. So the XRP, Solana, the HAR, Litecoin, etc. When you get an asset class this rich right now on what you're doing at Canary, and you look at investors who are coming to Canary saying, Stephen, whatever I've got, I won't throw a number in there, but I'm looking at a percentage of my portfolio. Where are you seeing that percentage fall now when it comes to digital assets? Well, as far as new allocations go, if you look at the last, 4 or 5 months, even though there's been outflows in Bitcoin and ETH, there's been constant inflows into XRP and HAR. Those are the two primary. I would say XRP is probably 50%. Solana is probably 30%, and HBAR is 20%. As far as the majority of flows go, but we've just seen continuous inflows into those, even on some of the biggest days when the market's gone down, that have occurred this year when Bitcoin ETFs have bled. We actually received inflows into XRP and HBAR on those days, and I've never seen anything like that. And yeah, I don't know. It goes to show that it is likely institutional investors. We don't know until we see the reports at the end of the quarter. You mean they want utility and not just something that you invest in. But they're allocating across the board. They're not waiting for a bottom. They're not waiting for a top. They're long-term holders, long-term investors. They're constantly allocating at this level. They don't care if it's down 5 today or up 5 tomorrow. They're building a position for the next few years, not for the next few days. Me too. Analysis. Bitcoin miner capitulation nearing end after 3 months. Same signal that preceded November 2022 bottom, with Bitcoin at 15.5K before rally to all-time highs. Folks, it feels like we're there. Now this is a really smart guy. This guy's one of the good guy Bitcoin Max. He's Hunter Horsley, CEO of Bitwise, on what's going on out there. It just has taken on a self-fulfilling life of its own. Certainly in the fall of last year, there were a lot of people asking us, do you think the 4 cycles will play out? Right? And our view was no, because the circumstances are different. We could get into that, right? But maybe it's now just such an instinct for people that people sort of reflexively made it a reality by worrying that it would be a reality. So they made it a reality, and that type of thing can happen in markets. I will say that, I had a colleague who was chatting with a billion-dollar wealth manager today, and I asked, what was the vibe? What was his mood like? And he's like, he's a little anxious. And I said, is because the price of crypto is down? He's like, no, because all the stocks are selling off. And I think something that sometimes needs to be reintroduced to the perspective of people who are very involved with crypto is that for most investors, this is like 2% of their money, right? Yeah. You probably have like 2% of your money sitting in some wallet that you've forgotten about. So what their mood is often related to is what's happening with 80% of their money. Correct. And what's happening with 80% of their money is Salesforce is down 30% since the beginning of the year. Microsoft is now 25% less valuable in 2 months as a company. Yes, sold out. Palantir is down 40%. People are wondering what Kevin Bork means for the Fed. People are wondering about the development with tariffs in the Supreme Court. Of course, every week there's a new AI announcement that seems to re-rate whole industries like security last week. So the way this relates to the 4-year cycle is You know, if everything is down 30% this year and Bitcoin's down 30% this year, is that a Bitcoin cycle? Yeah, exactly. Or is that a liquid market cycle? So I think it's an instructive and important mental model. It's definitely here to stay in people's minds. I don't know if it has as much causal power as it did in the past, but whatever the case, the market's down so far. It may not. We're also early in the year. I mean, if you guys think back to last year, Bitcoin sold down, I think, from 103,000 to 72,000 at the end of April, and then in Q2 was up dramatically. 2026 is young. And we may well end the year higher and print a down year in year 3 and an up year in year 4. And then, once again, we'd be back to saying the 4 cycles. Oh yeah, some good points there. Now this is Standard Chartered Bank on the Clarity Act. The discussions that we're having are no longer if the banks will participate, but how and under which controls. And we're really excited at Standard Chartered to see the rule finalization happen probably towards the end of next year that will address these components. Another component of having legislation out of the U.S. is that it's really making a statement that digital assets are regulated as part of the financial system, not as a disruptive outsider to it. And once we are able to operate on-chain under full regulatory supervision, I believe that bank adoption and ecosystem adoption will scale very, very quickly. The discuss. There you go. Let's see here. I had to do this, folks. I got Grok to create Michael Saylor a chart for dummies. I'll show you that chart after you hear what he says. Well, what's the use case? What's the value? Well, the value is if I can send $1 billion from here to Tokyo. That's valuable. Try taking $1 billion of land out of Tokyo. Try to take $1 billion of gold out of Tokyo. Try to remove $1 billion worth of companies from Tokyo, or $1 billion of mineral or oil and gas rights from Tokyo. You just can't do it. On the other hand, you can move $1 billion of Bitcoin into and out of Tokyo. So, for Michael Saylor, I went and asked Grok, $1 billion in XRP or $1 billion in Bitcoin. XRP 3 to 5 seconds, and it's going to cost you less than a penny. Bitcoin 10 minutes, maybe more depending on network congestion. And I think that this is a low bar 30 cents to send that Bitcoin. I would bet you it's a little more than that. So I think Grok was being kind to Saylor, but you get the point. Look at this. Jack McDonald is going to the Blockchain Summit in DC Blockchain Summit. I went and looked at their website, and I've been around for a while. You know, that's a Sineable woman, quote. But I noticed something that just jumps out at you. This might be the biggest tell that the Clarity Act is going to happen of all. If you look at their speakers this year, I have never seen this many congressmen on both sides of the aisle coming to DC Blockchain. Normally, they have maybe 2 to 5. Look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Congressman, that's probably not all of them. There's another one. 31. They keep on coming, folks. There's another one. The writing's on the wall, folks. Both sides of the aisle, they're gonna pass this thing. It's clear as day to me. Here's Mike Novogratz on what he thinks is coming the rest of this year of 72 years old for public service. Hard stop. Listen, I'm totally with you. All right. 30 seconds left. You're going to give me 10 seconds on each topic. You ready? Clarity Act. It gets passed. Yes or no? It gets passed. Okay. Bitcoin breaks below 60. Yes or no? I don't think so. But I'm saying that as a 70-30, not as a 90-10. Okay, and Kevin Walsh, it's June 30th, 2026. Is he the Fed chair? He's the Fed chair, and he's already cutting. A lot of great things coming our way, folks. It's obvious. SBI Japan Bank announces XRP shareholder benefits. Shareholders, as of March 31st, 2026, can choose to receive XRP cryptocurrency rewards. They continue to drive XRP adoption from Bank XRP. Then, we've got this guy. Now, for those of you that don't know, Eric Bor Voorhees is a Bitcoin OG. What he does not say in this clip about what has happened in crypto over the years, here's what he doesn't say. He was one of the down with the banks. Bitcoin's going to replace the government. Guys like this, they don't want to talk to you about how Bitcoin is firmly in bed with governments now. The exact opposite of what their vision was is what's happened, because that's what the adults all along knew. That's why I chose to focus on Ripple and XRP, because I knew that the adults that, like Brad Garlinghouse, said that the governments would bring out the tanks and the guns before they let someone replace their currency. So I started Shapeshift back in 2014 after Mt. Gox collapsed, which was like the, 95% of all the exchange market back then. Big centralized custodian and almost destroyed the whole industry. So I was like, well, how do you build an exchange that doesn't hold any customer money and doesn't require them to reveal who they are? You just protect people by the design of the exchange. So yeah, Shapeshift was the first non-custodial exchange. And yeah, we built it, 2 years before Ethereum came out, and the whole explosion of different assets really caught fire, so it was good timing. Yeah, has this played out the way that you thought? Has the last 10 years, so 2016 to 2026, did you envision obviously you could have predicted it perfectly, but was this? Now, what his answer here should be is, well, I was calling for down with banks and down with governments, but that didn't work out quite the way I thought. Part of the course. Was it way off? I mean, at least for me, I did not predict or understand what a smart contract was before that happened. So it wasn't like I was like, yeah, someday there will be these smart contracts and everyone will be using DeFi primitives. Like, that was a little alien. And even when Ethereum came out, it took me a while to understand the value of what that was. But crypto is, slowly taking over the world, and Bitcoin has become, top 10 asset on planet Earth. That is absolutely what I was hoping to see. Yeah. So, in some ways it feels like it's happened faster, and other ways slower than I would have wanted, but it's happening. All right, we're going to go into dixrp.com. That's the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these videos. Or if you'd rather join through X, hit subscribe. There's another casualty of the Epstein email war, and we're going to show that and some other things. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Way we go.